Good afternoon, my Lord Mayor, local tenants, Alderman. I'm Gemma Stokely from the Town Clerk's Department, and as you're aware, a recording of this public meeting of the Court of Alderman will be available on the City Corporation's YouTube channel following the meeting, where it shall be retained to 1 civic year. The Right Honourable the Lord Mayor has requested I inform you that he regrets he is unable to preside over your meeting today due to his undertaking of official duties. The Lord Mayor has appointed Alderman Sir Andrew Palmley to be Lord Mayor local tenants for the purpose of the Court of Alderman, and the warrant of appointment is hereby delivered in. My Lord Mayor local tenants, I can confirm that the meeting is quorate and is called.
Thank you very much, Gemma. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and to everyone observing online.
Thank you, my Lord Mayor, local tenants. Gallery doors to be open, please.
Gallery doors to be open and public to be admitted.
My Lord Mayor, local tenants, we now move to the Court of Alderman. The first question on the agenda is that the minutes of the Court's last meeting, held on the 13th of May 2025, are correctly recorded. That is to agree. On the contrary, the Mayor declares the motion to be carried. The minutes of the Court of Common Council are upon the table, my Lord Mayor. At item 2, Alderman Sir Charles Alderman.
My Lord Mayor, local tenants, it gives me enormous pleasure to move that the sincere congratulations this court be offered to Alderman Prem CDE on his recent appointment by His Majesty the King as a commander of the most excellent order of the British Empire for public service.
Thank you, Sir Charles. Is the motion seconded? Alderman Sir Peter Estlin. That, then, members, is to agree. On the contrary, the Lord Mayor declares the motion to be carried. At item 3 and 4, the Comptroller and City Solicitor.
My Lord Mayor, the return to precept for the ward of Dowgate is a ward mote held on Wednesday, the 18th of June 2025 at noon, St Michael Paternoster Royal, before the Lord Mayor's aldermanic representative, Victor Seymour Howard, for the purposes of electing an able and sufficient citizen to be alderman of the said ward, following the surrender of office by Alison Jane Gowan, who intended to seek re-election. The candidates validly nominated for the said offices were Alison Jane Gowan, whereupon the Lord Mayor's aldermanic representative declared Alison Jane Gowan to be duly re-elected as alderman of the ward of Dowgate, and then dissolved the ward, all of which I humbly certify to this honourable court, my Lord Mayor. That returns a precept for the ward of Vintry, and a ward mote held on Wednesday, the 18th of June at St James's for the Lord Mayor's aldermanic representative and Sheriff Gregory Jones, for the purposes of electing an able and sufficient citizen to be alderman of the said ward, following the surrender of office by Sir Andrew Palmley, who intended to seek re-election. The candidates validly nominated were Sarah Jo Loveday, Andrew Charles Palmley, Alpa Raja, Paul Singh. As the number of candidates exceeded the number of vacancies, the Alderman directed that a poll be held at St James Garlickhythe on Thursday the 19th of June from 8 AM to 8 PM and adjourn the ward vote. The poll was duly held, and following the counting of the votes, the Lord Mayor's aldermanic representative Christopher Makin resumed the ward vote and declared the number of votes cast in the poll for each candidate as follows: Sarah Jo Loveday 11, Andrew Charles Palmley 53, Alpa Raja 8, Paul Singh 31, whereupon the Lord Mayor's aldermanic representative declared Andrew Charles Palmley to be duly elected as alderman for the ward of Vintry and then dissolved, all of which I humbly certify to this honourable court, my lord.
Thank you, Comptroller and City Solicitor. As item 5, the motion is that the several persons named be admitted to freedom accordingly. That is to agree. On the contrary, the Lord Mayor declares the motion to be carried. 6 concerns an application for admissions to the freedom of the city in the company name. That is to agree. And on the contrary, the Lord Mayor declares the motion to be carried. 7, my Lord Mayor, attendance, there is no report. And finally, my Lord Mayor local tenants, item 8 pertains to 2 letters that have been received concerning the surrender of office by the serving alderman in the wards of Lime Street and Farringdon within. The first letter reads as follows: My Lord Mayor, I have had the honour and privilege to serve as the alderman of Lime Street since 2013. Throughout my time in office, I have learned much and I'm ever grateful for the friendship and support of the Court of Alderman, the Court of Common Council, and the partnership with corporation staff and officers. In accordance with our conventions, before the 6th election anniversary, I am writing to surrender my seals of office as Alderman of the ward of Lime Street and confirm that I intend to stand for re-election. May I assure you and the Court of Alderman of my continued support in all eventualities. Yours sincerely, Alderman Sir Charles Bowman. The second letter, my Lord Mayor, local tenants, reads thus: My Lord Mayor, it is almost 6 years since I was re-elected as Alderman of the ward of Farringdon within. In that time, I have had the honour of a lifetime serving as the 693rd Lord Mayor of London in 2022. I have enjoyed your support and friendship, and that of the Court of Alderman and many friends across the Court of Common Council, and I am grateful for that. It is time for me to surrender my seals of office and seek re-election, as I intend to do. It has been a privilege to represent the voters, residential and business of my ward, and to serve this great city in the office of Alderman. If re-elected, I will continue to do so to the best of my abilities. With all good wishes, as ever, Alderman Vincent Keaveney, CBE. Alderman Sir William Russell.
My Lord Mayor, locum tenens, I move that this court, taking into consideration the requests of Alderman Sir Charles Bowman, Vincent Keaveney, CBE, doth agree to accept their surrender of the office of Alderman of the ward of Lime Street and the ward of Farringdon within, respectively, to take effect as provided for by Section 4 of the Act of Common Council of 1960, as amended, and request the Right Honourable the Lord Mayor to hold ward votes in due course, the election of able and sufficient persons to be aldermen thereof. I so move.
Thank you, Sir William. Is the motion seconded, please? Alderman Sir Peter Estlin. Thank you, Sir Peter. That then is to agree. On the contrary, the Lord Mayor declares the motion to be carried. My Lord Mayor, locum tenens, that then is all of the business of which I am aware.
Thank you, Town Clerk. That brings today's meeting to a close. Thank you to everyone observing and live and everybody present, of course, and I wish you all a pleasant afternoon ahead and hopefully a restful summer.
Has it been down to the floor?